As I think about this new season and all of the changes that come with it, I think about my own life and all that I personally want to accomplish. I want each of us to listen carefully today as we learn how to have excellent health. It's not about just looking good on the outside. It's also about feeling good on the inside. Today, I want you all to focus on the information that will be shared, so stay with us.
A celebration of life. Get your daily balances. Kim Jacobs comes your way. We're here to open your eyes, making your day great and your life even better. Say, oh, daily balance. Get your daily balance. Daily balance. Get your daily balance with Kim.
Hello, thanks so much for joining us today. We've got a great show lined up for you. We're talking about total body wellness. If you're like me, some days can be a real challenge trying to balance everything and stay in shape physically, mentally, and emotionally. Well, you're in luck. Emotional wellness expert Dr. Lawana Gladney is with us. I personally have made a commitment to work out consistently. You should be able to notice a difference here. So anyway, get ready for a lot of good information and inspiration on this program. Please welcome my first guest, personal trainer and fitness instructor, Emily Knudson. Hey, Emily.
Hi.
How are you today?
Wonderful.
So glad to have you here.
Thank you.
You look great. You are in tip-top shape yourself, huh?
I try, yeah.
All right, you do a great job.
Thank
What is it that you do specifically? Because I know you're a personal trainer, you have your own, you're a fitness expert. What is it specifically?
That's right. I have my own personal training studio in
good.
Harrisburg. And so we have 4 trainers, including me, so 5
good.
trainers. And we try to balance everything out there too. So we have the personal training, but we also have some yoga and some
nice.
cardiovascular activities and the weights.
How did you go about getting involved in being a fitness trainer?
Well, it's really funny because like when I went to my reunion and everything, everybody was like, oh, you're like half the size you used to be. Because in high school, I was one of those people who, during gym class, I would like try to hide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I wasn't that into working out then. But after I had my first child, I said, you know what? I wouldn't mind being able to do some of the stuff I see other people doing and, you know, to really feel good about myself and really have confidence.
Wonderful. And so it's really like it's not just about exercising, but it's also supposedly like a lifestyle change. So why do people say that it's a lifestyle change?
It really is, and that's what I tell the clients too, that it's not, you know, if you make it a habit, a daily habit, and just make it so that, you know, if you think of things that you do every day, that if you miss them, you wouldn't feel right, that's how it becomes, and then it's not a chore or something that you're dreading. You just gotta find something you really love.
So with you, I know you actually go with your client when they're working out. So what motivates you to be consistently doing that? As their trainer.
As their trainer?
Yeah.
Because I know what joy has brought to my life, you know, and I'm like a natural like cheerleader for people.
Okay.
I really love seeing people happy, and I love seeing people confident in themselves, and I love to help people achieve things. So like being there and watching them run like their first 5K or watching them as they weigh in or get their measurements done and they've lost like 6 inches, and just the joy that they get and that they experience. I experience it with 3 times as much.
You know what I think
Actually, that we give them, they have to bring them with them every time, and they have to document. We give them homework, and so they have to document what they've eaten, and we usually give them cardiovascular homework.
Oh, good.
So
what do you mean by cardiovascular homework?
Something that gets their heart pumping and gets them moving. So say one person loves to swim, it might be they have to swim 2 times before the next time they come in. If they've decided that they're going to ride bikes with their family, they have to do that. You know, a couple times before they come back. Good. So that way, I'm always with them.
Oh, good.
And you know, basically, I can track, or we can track what they're doing. Okay. So that helps them be accountable, because accountability is a big deal.
That's huge.
It's a big factor.
And it seems like you customize. Are you actually customizing your program?
Yes.
So it's not like each of your people that you train all need to go swimming or go bike riding.
No, everybody's different. So we treat everybody as an individual. And that's really fun because, like I said, we can tailor it to what they enjoy. Good. And maybe tailor it to time with their family or time with with a loved one or someone else who's being supportive of them.
And what happens when they have like, are you seeing significant success with some of your clients where they're able to turn around and say, yes, I did it?
Oh, yeah.
And how are they feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, we have lots of people who lose lots of weight, lots of inches. You know, it's not just a dress size, though.
Right.
We have people who accomplish a lot. The other thing is you just see a different person emerge.
Oh,
it's almost like a metamorphosis coming out of the shell. The confidence that they gain from their physical, exercise goes out all through their life.
Interesting. That's a good point.
It's not segmented to your physical activity. It affects every relationship and how you feel about yourself in every situation.
Wonderful. I'm glad you're here today, and I know my viewing audience is glad. And we're going to talk more with Emily later in the program. But up next, we're going to meet our an author, speaker, and an emotional wellness expert, Dr. Lawana Gladney. So stay with us.
Daily Balance with Kim Jacobs is sponsored in part by the Rock Worship Center, Church of God in Christ, located at 1113 Fordham Road, Charlotte, North Carolina. The Rock Worship Center, making disciples through evangelism, exaltation, and edification. For more information, call 704-358-4167 or visit our website at rockworshipcenter.org.
My next guest was unable to be in the studio with us today, so we caught up with her on location. Like many women, she is a wife, a mother, and she has a successful career. And like the typical woman, she balances all of these things while dealing with the emotional drainage of life's everyday issues. She's the president of Emotional Wellness Incorporated, Dr. Lawana Gladney. Take a look at this. So glad to have you.
Thanks for having
nice to see you
me.
today.
Thanks for having me.
We
Kim.
finally connect, huh?
Yes, we did.
I'm glad. It's well worth the wait, that's for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
I know, Dr. Gladney, you do a lot of trainings. That's why it was hard to get together here.
Yes.
You travel all around the country.
Yes.
What is the message that you're getting out to people?
Well, I'm really trying to help people understand about being emotionally healthy.
Okay.
What it is, as well as how you manage your emotions. Because 75 to 90% of all of our physical challenges and problems that we have start with our emotions and stress.
Yes.
So if you want to be healthy physically, you have to understand how to manage your emotional health and wellness. That's the message I'm trying to get out to everybody.
That's a good message, a
Yes.
very good message.
Yes.
And you actually focus on quite a few areas, one being emotional wellness, but also tell us about your stress management. That's an area that you focus on heavily as well.
Yes, because with stress being really one of the big factors and the major factors to a whole lot of our physical ailments, then I help people understand how to identify that stress level and what is causing you this stress. Why are you feeling this way? And then how to manage that, because what we really don't understand is that our lives, we're in control of our lives. So we really are in control of everything that we do. So if you want to have stress, then you welcome the stress. If you don't, there's ways to prevent that. And what people just don't understand, and sometimes they just need permission. People need permission to say no. And so I am out there giving them the permission to say, you know, if you want to manage your life, if it's too hectic for you, just say no. There's some things that you can do here to manage that level.
And why do people feel so, they feel like they really have a difficult time saying no? What makes it so difficult in your own expertise?
Well, I think, a lot of times as women, we're taught that it's not a nice thing to be nice. I tell people when we were kids, the first thing babies learn is the word no, no.
I have a 15-month-old daughter. She does that quite well.
No, that's all. And somehow we grow out of that because we try to teach them. We have to teach them to shake their head yes. And then we become yes people, and it's because it's nicer. And I think women have a harder time struggling because they want to be nice and they don't want to hurt people's feelings. And so they end up taking on a lot of things, which I talk a lot about work-life balance.
Yes.
That has so much to do with it because people do not say no. They don't take charge of their own life. A part of that is that people don't know their purpose. When you don't know your purpose, then you become scattered. And you take on all kind of things because you know what? It sounds good. Somebody said, you're the best person for this project.
So somebody else told them.
Somebody else tells you that, but they make you feel like you're the person. You're the woman for the job or you're the man for the job.
Right.
And because of that, you take on all of these things, which then your life gets totally out of balance.
Interesting.
And as well as your stress level. And then you're laying down at night and you're saying, what did I really accomplish? You know, I'm stressed, I don't feel well, I have headaches. It's just so many things that are manifested through each one of those. So each one of those I target and talk about them and help people to understand what to do with their lives.
And you give them some specific strategies as to how they can implement them?
Specific strategies, because really, I teach them a plan.
Okay.
Because we really just go through our life and let life happen.
Yes.
People really don't plan their lives. And when I talk about work-life balance, it's like planning your money. Because, you know, if you take $300 out of the ATM machine and you don't plan for that money, you're going to look in your billfold, your wallet, you'll say, I thought I had more money. What happened to all of my money? You have to plan for it or to just slip away. Time does the same thing. And most of us don't plan our time. If you work 8 to 5, you know you're going to be working, but then after your free hours, you don't plan that, and so it slips away from you. And you say, well, what happened to the time today? I didn't get anything done. Excellent. So I teach people how to make a plan for your life.
Excellent.
Design a plan for your life.
Plan for your life. That's great, Dr. Gladney. Also, you talk about the $6 million Women's Club. Tell everybody that's viewing right now what that's all about.
The $6 Million Women's Club. You know, that came at a time in my life when I was questioning who I was, my inherent worth and value. And the $6 Million Women's Club was actually manifested, you know, through some experiences. And I had this vision, and it was like, okay, God spoke and said, you need to, you know, have an organization that will help women to find their purpose. Excellent. And because we forget what our inherent worth and value is, and actually, let me tell you, coming up with this $6 million, I was sitting down, and at that time, I was had taken a sabbatical, and so I was staying at home. I have 4 children, trying to balance it all.
Very similar.
And I felt like, you know what, nobody is going to appreciate what I'm doing. Right. By the time they get old enough and have their own kids and come back and say thank you, that's going to be too late. I need somebody to say thank you now. Yes. And I was really questioning my worth. And I sat down and I wrote down all of the jobs that I did as a mom and all of the things that I did. And I went and researched and I added up what I would make if I were working those jobs on a salary yearly. I took that figure times 18, because the kids are with you 18 years, and it was over $6 million. That's how I came up with the $6 million.
That's a high five moment right there on our show. We do high fives. That's great.
$6 million. I said, what? How would $6 million? All of a sudden, I begin to understand my inherent worth and value. And because we attach value to things, you know, like we treat our diamonds differently from the ones that are not. When we can attach value to that, I begin to look at myself in a different manner. I begin to treat myself differently. So then the $6 Million Club became all about, the Women's Club became all about helping women understand their inherent worth and value and how to walk in that. Yeah,
that's
so
a great program.
It's a great program.
So what's happening with the club now?
So right now with the club, there's 3 parts to the club, and we focus on development, and as far as personal development, spirituality, finances, health, you know, relationships, confidence. But then there's a portion that we also have a liaison with one of the women's shelters there, because a woman is at her lowest point when she finds herself in a shelter. So we mentor some of the women that are there, as well as we have a scholarship fund, because a lot of women, you know, for whatever reason didn't get to finish school, go to school, whatever. And so right now we're in the process of waiting for some grant funding so we can continue some of those programs that we started with the club.
Well, I wish you the best with those funds, and I'm sure they're going to come through, because it's an awesome program that you're describing here.
Awesome club.
Good.
Awesome
I know
program.
you have a really nice, soft spot in your heart towards working mothers. And why is that the case?
Well, because like I said, I have 4 children, and I was getting my master's and my doctorate and running a business while I was having my children.
That's why we have you on the show, because it's work-life balance and all of the hats that you personally wear.
And so many people said, how did you do this? How can this be done? Because people say, I can't do it because I have young children.
Right.
I can't do anything right now. But understanding, like I said, it's a plan.
Yes.
How to plan to be able to do that. So realizing that so many women now, we're working, we're finding ourselves in that position. So my soft spot is, how can you get this done? And knowing that it can be done.
And it can.
And you can stay sane while you're doing it.
Yes.
That's the key.
Yes.
So for me, it was like, get this message out to tell people, you know what, you don't have to stop, say I have to wait and go to school or finish whenever my kids get grown. Not such thing. This is how you can get it done. So my soft spot is there because that's what I've actually done for the majority of my kids' life, is just balance that work life as a working mother.
Excellent. Well, I'm a mother of 5.
Yes,
and my
I
children
know,
are 12 and under, so
I know.
we share.
And you have a
very
baby, a 15-month-old.
Yes,
so yes,
yes.
I completely understand all of that juggling. But it's a balance. When you
Very
agree,
much so.
you have to have a plan on how you integrate this so that the kids don't feel like they're suffering.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, because to me, it was all about having my own business so that I can be flexible, so I can still be the homeroom mom.
That's the
I'm
key.
not missing out on things. How do you balance that so you don't feel like the guilt? I know we're going to talk about that.
We're definitely going to talk about
you
that
don't feel
because that's
that.
one of your key points in your book.
Yes.
Dr. Gladney is the author of You Can't Be Sick, I Have to Work, 50 Tips to Emotional Wellness for Working Mothers. That's by Dr. Lawana Gladney. And in your book, Dr. Gladney, I saw point number 4 was lose the guilt. That
Yes.
was tip number 4. And so as you get ready to talk about guilt, I want to make sure that we go, this is actually one of the tips that you share. Guilt is an emotion, like an invisible weight that tugs at your heart and can weigh you down. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh my, they didn't tell us when we had children that when these little people are placed in our arms, that we're going to feel like that we're responsible for every single step they take.
Yes.
The responsibility. So nobody really taught us about that you're going to feel guilty when they fall, when they bump their head, if they didn't eat their vegetables, if all of these things. And as they grow, and when they're smaller, we feel like we can control what they do. But as they get older, and they're making choices and decisions and things like that. So often as mothers, we just inhabit this heavy weight of guilt. What did I do? Did I do something wrong, or I should have been there, or that wouldn't have happened? They wouldn't have broken their arm. Their friend wouldn't have called them a name. They shouldn't be crying. All of these dynamics that we take on and we feel guilty about. And I teach mothers, we cannot be responsible. We cannot see them 24/7.
You want to, though.
We want to. We can only do what we can do. And actually, in learning this, even after my kids got older, because when they began to go to school and make the choices, and one day when the principal called and my son was having some problems, immediately I'm, oh no, they're going to think, what kind of mother I am because I'm teaching. You know what? I had to say, you know what? He knows what he's doing. I'm not going to take on that responsibility. I've taught him right from wrong. If that's the choice that he made, then yes, we're going to deal with that, but I'm not going to feel guilty about it and feel like that somebody's going to cast a shadow on me. So many of the things that we do or don't do is related to the guilt that we feel, like, oh, my children, I wasn't there for them. I have to tell the story. My daughter was graduating from the 5th grade, and they just have this little ceremony where they run down the hall. It wasn't a big deal. Her name wasn't getting called out, but it's still a graduation ceremony. I was at an event. I had a conference going on, and I forgot.
Oh, wow.
I forgot about it. And so I talk about how, we're real people. I use that as an example to say, yes, sometimes in the balancing of it all, that particular day, I didn't have my plan going. It was there, but it was so much other things happening that it totally slipped my mind. And of course, the guilt that went associated with that, but it helped my kids to see, you know what, Mommy's human. I'm so sorry, and this is what I'm going to do to make it up to you. So I tell people that story to say, hey, we're all learning. It's all a process. We're all human and learning. But yeah, so just learning how. I said I'm not going to continue to feel guilty. I felt guilty for a week. It's done.
It's done. It's over. Right.
It's done.
And that's a good thing, and that's a good tip for people to walk away with.
Yes.
And also, Dr. Gladney, I know that you are starting a new television talk show.
Yes.
Oh, it's a talk show, so please tell us about
Well, it's actually a reality show.
That's
it's a
right,
reality
yeah.
show.
You told me that.
And it's online reality show.
Okay.
And so we're going to have it so that people can see it on international level.
Excellent.
And what it is emotionalwellnesstv.com.
Excellent.
And we're so excited because I actually go on location to people's houses.
And it's emotionalwellnesstv.com. Okay.
So I go to their houses and solve their problems. So it's like the doctor on call. So I come in, it's real people, real problems, real solutions. I come in, we discuss what's happening, and then, hey, here's some tips, and here's the things that you need to do to get your life in order.
So you're going to be the emotional doctor on call.
The emotional doctor on call.
To go in and solve their
the problems and emotional issues and help people get their lives in order and balanced.
Oh, I love it. Another high five moment. Two high five moments in one show.
Yes.
That's awesome. And you know what? I know that it's going to be a huge success. Again, emotionalwellnesstv.com.
Yes.
And Dr. Gladney, I'm so glad that we finally caught up with each other and had this opportunity to spend this time together. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for having me.
We definitely will have you back. Emotional wellness, you're the expert. Thank you.
Thank you.
What a great interview with Dr. Gladney. Up next, we have more with Emily Knudson right after this break. Stay tuned.
Daily Balance with Kim Jacobs is sponsored in part by Air Dominion, manufacturer of sports medical products specializing in extremity braces. Air Dominion is the creator of the Air Knee Pad, featuring bilateral pump action technology, firm comfort frontal support, and compressed air bilateral support. For more information, visit our website at